here.
We're here. We made it. As a family, as a group, we made
We made it. Let's go.
All right. Okay.
Incredible.
Cool. Everybody clap. Everybody clap. All right. I'm sorry
Give us a round of applause.
All right. Cool. Okay. So now that you can see this man's beautiful face, this is Anthony VILARHINO, as he was saying.
What's going on?
What have you been listening to lately, man? What's the kind of music that you're into? What have you been listening to lately?
Oh God. Okay. So what I've been listening to recently is kind of a pretty interesting cross section. I've been really about Porter Robinson's most recent record, Nurture.
Mm-hmm.
Great record from front to back. Anthony Fontano called it "This Generation's Discovery," which I think is a really bold claim. But after listening to it a few times, I definitely see where he's coming from with that.
Right.
I've been revisiting some older Bring Me the Horizon kind of stuff. I've been listening to We Are Scientists. I listened to Zombie 2, the Devil Wears Prada record.
Yes, I listened to that as well, and that was insane.
Yeah, phenomenal. Oddly enough, the week before it came out, a friend of mine who just moved to Pittsburgh met the drummer for the band at a drum shop, and they talked shop for a few minutes. Nice. And he sent me a picture, and I was like, I don't know who this is. And then the record came out, and he's like, now you do. And I went, oh, you're right, I do.
Yeah.
Oh God, Kovu.
Yeah, I know. I'm sad they can't see the kitty, but you know, we'll be
That's
okay.
I can upset him and put him in frame,
just
but not
hold him up. Yeah. So funny thing about like meeting drummers of famous bands. So our guitarist's stepdad, he travels a lot for work and whatnot, and he gave this guy a ride because their I think their van broke down. And that guy just so happened to turn out to be Aaron Gillespie from Under Oath.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like he was just like, oh, you know, what are you doing? And Aaron was like, oh, we're, you know, on tour and all this stuff. And then of course he had to be like, oh, well, my stepson is in a band and whatever. And yeah, I felt awkward listening to this story, but because
this is like, you know, you want people, you know, to make connections to these people that are kind of our heroes, right? That we idolize. Exactly. You don't want it to be your parents.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be your dad who goes,
absolutely
my son's in a band.
No,
you know?
Absolutely not.
You want it to be someone else, anybody else.
Like I would be, if my father met anybody who he knows that I idolized as a musician, I would be mortified. I would just have to quit at that point. I just couldn't continue.
He listens to that record of yours, says the record wrong every day. It's what is inspiring. It can only go badly.
I think
there's no world where that goes well.
Yeah, I think the only band that he could possibly maybe get correct would be Issues on any of their discography, but that's still a big maybe.
Sure. Issues is the drummer in my band. That's his favorite metal band.
Yeah,
which
that's
is fun.
Kind of
unrelated side note.
Yeah, that's kind of where all of our, not all, but a lot of inspiration for our music comes from.
Nice.
Being Issues and like Volumes and that kind of weird, gentle, crap.
I've been listening to, on the subject of this kind of subgenre of music, I've been listening to this band DaySeeker recently.
Yeah, dude. You know what's funny? You kind of look like Rory.
Oh, no way.
You kind of
I don't know who that is because I just found the band recently.
It's the vocalist. It's their vocalist.
Okay, cool. So I look like somebody who's good enough to be at the front of the stage. That works for me. You know?
Yeah, you're not like the sound guy that no one knows and he's like just kind of hanging out back there. DaySeeker has definitely become one of my favorite bands. They are easily one of the better bands in the scene right now, and
I just got turned on to them 2 or 3 days ago.
Oh, really?
And oddly enough, I was gonna circle to this when you were telling your story about Aaron Gillespie. A good friend of mine, this guy named Steven, who lives down here, he has his own band that's kind of like a pop punkish band that was going through at one point some artist development, like sponsored by Aaron Gillespie. Like he was kind of acting as a bit of a ghost producer for them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one who turned me on to DaySeeker.
Gotcha.
So weird how this is all kind of tangentially connected, I guess.
Is that a word?
I need to I don't know, man. We're trying our best here. Okay.
That sounded like a really large word that I've never heard before, but I will be happy to say if it is a word.
We could Google this, but I don't think it's worth the effort right now, honestly.
Okay. Well, if
Um,
I didn't have a video capture on your webcam, I absolutely would, but I will refrain from such things as of right now.
I'll take care of it. Hold on. I can do
Yes.
this. I have the power. Okay, hold
So
on.
you
How do
said
I even spell that?
you said so TANGENTIALLY?
That
Question
sounds
mark?
correct tangentially in a way that
No.
relates only slightly to a matter. Yeah. All right. I'm a
Yes.
genius. Moral
Oh
of the
my god.
story.
Yeah, you knew words that you had no idea existed. That's
It's kind of like
fantastic.
when you learn to spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I think
Yes.
it's on brand with that.
I
Anyway,
yes.
so why don't I mean I know you wanted to ask me a bunch of questions, but I this is actually our first time having a
It is.
conversation
Yes, ask away,
over
man.
like any kind of voice platform.
Yeah.
Um, how did you get started playing music for anybody who might not know the story who's already here? And for me, because I
Um
literally don't know the story.
yeah, for sure. So I actually started out playing guitar when I was like 11 or 12, maybe a little earlier, somewhere around there.
Okay,
I started out playing guitar and I never gave a shit about it. Like I got decent, and I learned some because my friend Travis, he took like 4 lessons and then just took off and self-taught himself, and he's an incredible guitar player. So he
cool.
just had the gene of guitar playing. I did not. He taught me some stuff like Guitar Hero songs. That was pretty much all I learned. And then went from there, and I had that guitar for like maybe a year and a half, and then I traded my guitar for my buddy CJ's drum set. And so after I got the drum set, it's like a 1970, I don't even know the brand, 1970s old beat up, but it is beautiful in its own way drum set. And um I just kind of started playing that for the first while. I didn't care. Like, is it? Oh my god, did you? There's thunder happening, and it's terrifying.
I can hear it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Wow. That's
Um,
loud enough that your mic picked it up.
yeah, it hasn't been, it's been sunny all day. Um, Texas, everyone. That's just where I exist. So I got the drums, and I kind of didn't really care. It's like I did, but I didn't practice or anything like that. I was young and just like, I was in like 7th or 8th grade. And then I had that drum kit. That's the drums, exactly, Syken. So I had that drum kit, and then my girlfriend in chat says that it's apparently hailing outside. So that's lit.
Oh man. Wow, I've only been in hail once when I lived in Gainesville and it was for 5 minutes.
Oh,
I
it's
never
awful.
wanted to experience it again. That
It's
sounds like the worst.
it is the worst. Okay, so I'll try to stop
Okay.
getting my tracker. So I had the drum kit, played on that for a little bit. First song I ever learned was "Back in Black" by AC/DC. Just four on the floor, ride, nothing crazy.
Absolutely.
But the biggest thing was that it came very naturally. Like it took almost no effort to start playing the drums, which a lot of people have trouble with.
Yeah.
And then it moved on to 3 Days Grace and stuff like that, and none of it sounded good. I'm saying I'm playing it, but none of it sounded good. So I started playing drums there. I got serious about it as once we moved to Texas, and I started on drumline again. And then yeah, I've been playing for like 10 years now, I think, somewhere around there.
Okay. Nice.
So
Yeah, man. That's I mean, the fact that you said that you were on Drumline kind of solidifies yourself as like because I've listened to Beyond Thieves or Doubting Thieves, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no, you're good.
And like your chops are,
Hey,
they're
thanks, man.
definitely there. And the drumline thing definitely ties into that.
Oh yeah, and I'm
I
working
like
on that a lot actually, because I've never been one to like really throw rudiments into my playing. I play
Mhm.
some weird stuff, but I don't go too crazy.
Sure.
I play with what I think fits the song, and I could throw some more fills and whatever in there, but I don't try to go too crazy. But I'm really working on uh so the drummer for Issues is
Mhm.
so that whole band is actually like good friends with, we've become good friends with them through Doubting Thieves. Um
Nice.
and so I've done a bunch of drum lessons with Josh, and
Okay.
he's kind of taught me a decent amount of stuff when it comes to incorporating rudiments into your playing. And
Sure.
that stuff's really important because like I feel like playing not necessarily the bare minimum, but something that's not super exciting, especially to me as the drummer, um, is only going to get you so far. And so
Mhm.
I'm trying to really push myself with the new stuff that we're writing and working on. Um, Trash Quest, what's
What's
going
up,
on, man?
Trash Quest?
So yeah, it's cool, and I'm working on it, and throwing rudiments into stuff is just it gets really fun and really weird, and you can be really creative with stuff like that with
For
drumline,
sure.
chops.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the drummer in my band, I mentioned him earlier. It's weird because ever since I met him, I always found it strange, but he's the only drummer I met that exclusively incorporates rudiments into every facet of his playing.
Right.
Like he's always thinking of how can I throw a Radamacue in this
Yeah.
or herdas, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
I know those words,
Yeah.
kind of, you know,
Well, it's funny.
like
I
the idea
don't
that drum
know.
rudiments are all phonetic, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what a Radamicue is.
So a Radamacue, I'm kind of a drummer, so I can explain this. It's flam, like if you're starting on your right side, it's flam left, right, flam on the left.
Wait, so flam on the
It's
right.
flam on right,
This is so
left,
interesting
right.
for people just listening.
Yeah,
So,
people are like, "What? Oh, what are they saying? Words?"
okay. So it's kind of like a flam tap,
It's
but you go to the left instead of the right.
exactly.
Okay.
It's if you loop them, they're basically individual Swiss triplets. Which I don't know if you're familiar with the Swiss
Yes.
triplet.
Okay. Yeah. That I can kind of vaguely see that making sense. I'd have to see if I saw it on a
Right.
like sheet music, it would totally make sense to me because like I'm really
Sure.
good at reading, but when like just thinking of rudiments like that, like there's one that Luke Holland did in his Skrillex Cinema drum cover.
Yeah.
It's called a pataflafla, and
Yes.
it's basically just flam taps, and then at the very end it's like flam, and then at the end you do like a left right flam, and I don't know. It's
Okay.
drum rudiments are so hard to just explain with word of
Yeah,
mouth.
if you're
Like,
not reading them,
oh, it's
they're
terrible.
borderline. Yeah,
It's
it's the
absolutely the
worst.
worst thing.
I also did. I was a percussionist in high school, but I never did any of the battery because I was bad. I had no chops,
Right.
and since I have perfect pitch, they kind of relegated me to timpani duty,
Oh,
which was
that's
fun. I
a
love
good
playing the
job for
timpani.
someone with perfect pitch. You have perfect pitch, dude. I'm so jealous.
Yes, I have perfect pitch. Sorry.
Dude.
um, I didn't mean like it's always so. Here's the thing. This is a fun side story. I didn't know that having perfect pitch was a thing until I was like 16 years old. I
Right.
thought everybody just had perfect pitch.
Oh my god, imagine thinking such ways.
Yeah, that's how I thought about it. The story of how this all came to be was the first instrument I played was the French horn, which is like the
I love it.
stupid
I love French
uh
horn.
I do too, but when I describe it, they're like, "What are you talking about?" Like people who don't know music don't know what a French horn is.
Yeah.
So I played the French horn, and I remember listening to like Linkin Park on my iPod Shuffle and playing the melody on my French horn
Dude, that's
badly,
so
but doing
cool.
it right.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
and like I just thought that was a thing that everyone could do, and I when I started playing guitar like a year after I picked up the French horn, or 2 years later, I did the same thing. I mean, once I got my guitar in tune, I spent a lot of time teaching myself just by ear, like, oh, this is a whole step like how I would do it on my French horn. And I
Right.
thought of everything as because the French horn is tuned to B flat. So I
Right.
thought that everything in French horn pitch, like tuned to B flat, was what concert pitch was. I didn't
Right.
realize that it was wrong. So when I was reading the from like my Fender Squire book that came with my guitar, it said you're tuned to E, B, G, D, A, E. I was like, oh, well, an E sounds like this on the French horn. So I had my guitar tuned to like D standard basically for the first few months of playing. And then I didn't know that was wrong
You're like, why does
until I
everything I
talked to a
play
friend of mine who'd
sound
been playing
off?
guitar. Yeah, I was like, man, maybe these tabs are wrong. Like, who knows, you
Yeah.
know?
Lil and Cat, thank you for the follow.
And
I
then it
appreciate
wasn't
you.
until, oh, that's my girlfriend. Hi, babe.
Oh, welcome. Welcome
I
in.
she's being supportive because she's wonderful.
Yes.
Shout out to Lil and Cat. She also streams on the internet and
Shout
stuff.
out to Lil and Cat.
Anyway, back to my story, trying to like wrap this up. So I didn't realize that wasn't the case until much later. And then I was 16 and we had a club at my school called the Musicians Forum, where it was not just people who played guitar and stuff. It was Killa Killalalas, we're just kind of interviewing each other because this is our
Right.
first time having a conversation.
Right.
That's what we're doing. Later, we'll be talking about some other stuff, but for now, we're just getting to know each other. So, anyway, like I said, trying to finish the story. We have this musicians forum. It's a club where a bunch of musicians get together and show what they're working on or ask for advice, yada yada yada. And some kid's playing a trumpet piece, and he's like plays through the piece because he's doing it for solo and ensemble. And I'm giving him feedback. I was like, "Oh, when you get to this section where you play this slew of notes, you should try to do it this way." Because I used to play brass, and that's what I would do,
Right.
right? And the room goes quiet, and they go, "How do you know what notes he was playing?" The president of the club at the time, and I was like, "That's what he was playing." And they're like, "Yeah, but do you know the piece?" And I said, "No." They're like, "Well, how do you know that those are the notes?" I was like, "Because those are the notes, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the thing." And he's a senior and I'm like a sophomore. He's the senior, he's also drum captain. And he walks over to a marimba in the room and he hits like 4 chords and he goes, "What chords are those?" And I tell him, he's like, "Oh, well, son of a bitch, you have perfect pitch." And I was like, "What is that? Like, what does that mean?"
Wait, so okay, I have a okay, wait, hold
Yeah,
on. So you did you ever like study to have perfect pitch or you just had it?
I just had it. The earliest memories I have with doing anything in music was I sang in choir in church when I was like 6 or 7 years old. And in fourth and fifth grade, I had the same teacher for both years. And every day for like 30 minutes, we just sang show tunes because she had a piano in her classroom.
Right, right. As you do.
Have a good night, Killalalas.
Have a night, Gillis.
Right. We just,
Appreciate
yeah,
you.
yeah, thanks for stopping in. And it is a glitch is an energy drink that Black Flame recently partnered up with. I think there's a
Yes, it
promo
is.
code if you want to order some of their stuff. I don't know it because I'm bad at this. um, but yeah, so I never studied to have perfect pitch because I know that a lot of people who do have perfect pitch, like that one kid Dylan that Rick Beto does the YouTube videos with, he trained to have perfect pitch from a young
Right,
age, but I
right.
never did. It just happened,
Man, that
which
must be
somehow
fucking
feels like I
nice.
cheated.
Yeah, no kidding. I feel like you cheated. I feel like I'm being cheated right now. Dude, I had to go to school just to learn how to even hear harmonies. Like, I, damn it. This is okay. All right.
I,
Well,
I'm so sorry.
man, that's crazy though.
If
So,
it makes you feel any better though, just there was still a learning curve to it, you know. Like it started out, I could identify pitches, and I was like, okay, I learned what the pitches were, and then I started trying to expand on that, and I was teaching myself like, oh, this chord, like I was hearing chords, I was like, oh, like I heard a power chord was always 1 and 5, right?
right.
And but I would still get things wrong, but not from a lack of hearing it correctly, but from a lack of understanding music theory well enough to describe what I was hearing,
Yeah, fair
if that
enough.
makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy, man. It's like I see people like Charlie Puth, like just
Mhm.
play a piece. So he has these crazy, not a lot of videos, but he has these videos like on YouTube with like John Mayer and stuff like that. And he'll be playing a piano and he'll sing every single note that he's playing as he's playing it, like real time. Even
Oh,
like
wow.
all of the weird like C sharps and whatever. I don't know what you want to. I can't think of right now. But just all of the weird
Sure.
jazzy notes and all that stuff. He sings it perfectly while he's playing it. Tismo Beans, thank you for the
That's really
follow.
cool.
Appreciate you.
What's up, Tismo Beans? Welcome to
Yeah.
the Sound of Fire podcast,
So yeah,
hosted by
he'll
some schmuck with perfect pitch and Dr. Beaker.
yes. I'm just the streamer who doesn't stream, and we have this man who has perfect pitch.
Sorry. I wish we could be more entertaining, you know?
His resume is already way more impressive than mine. So
Oh, stop. That's not true. Your band is at least active, okay?
that's semi
Um,
true.
okay. All right, fine. I won't presume to know.
We will
But yeah, man.
um so sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but so
Sure.
yeah, so what's I what is your band's name again?
I'm in a band called Yardage.
Yardage. That's what I thought it was. I'm glad I thought of it correctly. I really my favorite game to play is bowling on a beer bottle and asking what note it is. Oh my god. That's fantastic. Um so I listened to a bit of Yardage when Trauma told me that you were going to be joining me on the podcast.
Sure.
And I
Thank you.
really, yeah, of course. I like the vibe. I like that you have a female vocalist. Her voice is super solid.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I don't have like tracks memorized or something, so I'm sorry about that.
Sure.
But I I really liked it, and I love the vibe. I thought it was very different and chill, and a good palate cleanser for what I usually listen to, which is just people yelling at me all the time. So
All right. Fair
it was
enough.
good. It's like,
So what's interesting is like I joined the band, and I'll let you finish your thought. But I joined the band, and I was like, oh, it's just a pop rock band. The music will be easy. The music was hard. The
right.
music is very like well written to where it has to be tight. You know, it definitely caught me off guard. But go ahead and finish your thought. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was just saying it's nice to like. So the guy that we were going to have a co-host with me is Donatello, the rapper who is
Right.
partnered with Black Flame. Unfortunately, he couldn't just because life stuff. So totally understandable.
Sure.
But I usually I don't listen to a lot of rap. Like there's only a few actual rap artists that I enjoy listening to. I
Mhm.
listened to him. I actually really liked his Trash Crust. What's going on, man? I really liked his stuff. Um, but it made me really happy to see that like when he mentioned that we were gonna bring you on, like it was just nice to have someone who had good music out there, and I don't have to lie.
Sure.
Like, I don't have to sit here and be like, yeah, man, you're doing great, and then it's just clearly
When
not
it's not
true.
your thing, you know, like it could to the guy who appreciates rap, he could be killing it, which he
Oh
is
yeah, for
because I
sure.
listen to him and I do
No,
like, yeah,
his stuff is
but
sick.
you were like most rap isn't like your bag, you know.
Right.
So I'm sure you were excited at the idea that like, I mean, it's a pop rock band, but there's still rock in there, you know.
Yeah, no,
So
exactly.
it's I get what you're saying.
I can still get the vibe of music that I typically enjoy because I mean I listen to a bunch of different stuff. Like, one day I'll be listening to like Devil Wears Prada or Issues or Volumes or someone else, and then the next day I'll be listening to like the 1975 or Chloe MK
Yeah,
or Chapel. Just totally different vibes, and
for sure, for sure.
I think that's super important. And I also kind of have to listen to country now because I'm in a country band now, so that's
Oh, you're in a country band. How's
I
that?
um
L-
it's cool. I mean, like I don't really like country that much, but
mhm,
when it comes to who is playing shows right now and what makes money so I can pay my bills, that's country.
yeah,
So that was a really big and and actually the last guy we had on here, Jordan, from City of Sound, we
sure.
talked about how when people say, "Oh, I'm not doing it for the money," it's like that's bullshit. Like you want to do this to make a living, right? So you're doing it
Right.
technically for the money. Although that might not be the driving factor, you still want to make money doing this.
So
So,
sorry to interrupt you,
no, you're good.
but this is important to your point. My current boss said something to me, and it was the most profound thing for the working musician I'd ever heard. So I just wanted to
Okay.
share it with you and anybody
I'm
else who is a
excited.
musician that might be listening. Yeah. If you're participating in a musical project, right? It's gotta have there are three factors involved, right?
Of
The
course.
quality of the music you're playing, like how much you enjoy it, or how much you're challenged by it, however fulfilled you are playing that kind of music. Um, how much money you're making for your time that you're committing for your
Right.
craft, and how you feel about the people you're doing it with,
Right.
right? And if you have two of the three, then it's worth your time to do it.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Like
That's
every s- every single time, that math will always check out, you know?
Yeah, that is very true. I feel like though, if I feel like I don't know, it's tough because like you could say if you have two out of the three, you can make it work, but
Mhm.
like I think depending on who you are, maybe the money might not have to be
Sure.
a part of it. Like if that's just a hobby, like sure, you're not doing it to pay bills, but I think enjoying the music you're creating is definitely one of the most important things, and enjoying the people that you're with is easily the second most important thing because I've been in bands with people that I love, which is Doubting Thieves,
Mhm.
and the Countrymen. I really love those guys. They're great people, and like the music's fun to play live, but I mean it's
Sure.
country, so it's not as interesting as playing double bass and blast beats and shit.
Yeah.
But But like I've been in bands with people who I could not stand, and it
Oh
did
yeah.
not last long. So I really think that like be because like one of the biggest things I've heard about being in the music industry in general is being a good hang and like
Mhm.
being able to be around other people and not be a douche and like not be full of yourself. And I've been in bands with people like that, and it was like a few months of decent paying gigs, and then it was just over because I couldn't handle ego like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you hear about musicians at the highest level of this, like Sting, for example,
Right.
right? Sting, there's a story where Sting was referred a drummer to fill in when Sting went for his solo stuff, and he didn't audition the guy. He invited him to his house in California for a week to see if he could just stand being around him.
That makes
And then
yeah.
because the referral was like, yeah, the referral was already coming from such a place where the guy was good enough to take the gig. If he wasn't, he wouldn't have gotten the referral.
Right,
So it was
exactly.
just, can I deal with you on a tour bus for 6 months?
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that's
And
something
that
that
that is a huge thing. Like,
no, I think that's something that people forget about. Like, especially if you're someone who's in a young band and um, you start to make it and tours are being offered. I think you forget that, like, you're like, oh, I have to actually literally live with these people for months out of the
yeah,
year. And will I be able to do that? Like, that's a thing that people don't really think about when they start creating a band to make it their profession is that I'm going to have to spend time with you guys for if I mean if you're a band who's making good money on tour, you're probably touring 9 to 10 months out of the year. So,
absolutely.
you definitely have to be able to live with them.
Sure. And I mean, a lot of people like it might not be that people don't consider it, but like maybe the things that they realize about their bandmates, the things that they can't tolerate about them through continued exposure.
Right.
And you don't like, not only do you have to live with these people, but you have to be able to conduct formal business with your bandmates. Because
Right.
if a record label comes to you and says, we want to sign you, when it gets to the negotiating part of that, you need to be able to have the adult conversation of, hey, our friendship is our friendship, our music is our music, our business is our business
Right.
on a very even playing field. Like you can't feel taken advantage of,
Right.
and you can't feel that you're not valued in the project. Like all of these things that you don't consider at first glance,
Oh yeah, for sure.
because those are the things
Absolutely.
that'll fold a project.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If one person doesn't feel like their voice is being heard, or they feel like if for some reason the contract isn't right and they're not earning what they think they deserve or something like that, even if it's fair, like that's where a possible ego comes in. Like, I know not,
Mhm.
I know Dylan, our vocalist, isn't like this, but like I'm sure some vocalist on the planet was like, oh, I'm the vocalist, I'm the front man, I deserve more, and they weren't getting that
Mhm.
because it's an equal like business, fair share for everyone. Like that can just tear it apart immediately.
Mhm. There's a lot of people, and then what sucks is that sometimes those things about like vocalist egos, like just as the example you gave,
Right.
they manifest as kind of like the way the project is being promoted.
Hmm.
You think about Paramore, right?
Yeah.
The Paramore, Haley Williams was the face of Paramore as much as Josh and the other guys were a part of the band, but
Right.
the label really pushed the fun, like power pop rock band with a chick vocalist angle more than it was just a power pop rock band. Like
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
forefront of the
Holy
thing
crap.
was,
Jeez, that scared me. Silver Six, thank you
oh,
for gifting a tier 1 sub. Good lord, that scared me. I haven't heard that notification yet. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
is that
Oh,
the first like
Silver.
gifted sub in the channel?
That I've had while I was streaming. Silver with the 100 bits too, baby. What's going on? First gift sub, first bits.
First,
Hey, Silver, thank you for doing that while you're on this stream. We appreciate that very much. Lit.
thanks, man.
Alana, what's
It
going on,
is.
homie?
Oh my god, all the mods that I don't know are coming out. I'm gonna get to know all of you very well soon, hopefully.
Yes, yes, you will. Okay, so on to the thing that I was most excited to speak about and have been
Oh
for a
man.
while, and that
Oh
is
man.
Bo Burnham's new special, Inside. If you have not watched it, you are grossly doing yourself a disservice. Uh, Maybe not so much for your mental health, but for yourself in general. Yeah, I believe that is the case.
Trash Quest is a mod at heart. And yeah, 100%. Also, hi Trauma, hi Alana, hi everybody. Gonna have a good cry first before you listen. Lilin Cat knows what's up, you know. Lilin Cat and I watched it together, and after Funny Feeling, I paused it and I said, "Hey, I just need you to like hold me for a second,
Yeah,
please."
yeah.
Like it was and there were so many moments like that, and like
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
it is rough if you're in tune with like your emotions, or if you've ever had any struggles with mental health, or even it's just relatable the whole way through. It
Yeah.
tugs at your heartstrings in a way I didn't expect it to, you
Oh
know?
yeah. Well, and like even so, I couldn't put myself in this place because I've been a fan of Bo Burnham for so long. I've followed him since before Words, Words, Words. Like I've loved him for a very long time as a comedian, as a person, and how open he's been about everything. So when he posted on Twitter after not performing for 5 years, and he
Mhm.
posted a picture of a room just in total distress, which was his living room with messes of camera and wires and lights and all this stuff, I freaked out. And then, so I couldn't prepare myself to see it without like going in totally blind, like not knowing who
Mhm.
Bo is or anything like that. But I will be sad that I can never experience that special for the first time again,
Yeah.
because I mean it's something else, man. And yeah, so that funny feeling, I feel like that funny feeling and All Eyes on Me are the best songs he's ever created ever.
Absolutely. I was actually having this conversation with a coworker. All of the songs in the special feel more like standalone songs than they
Oh yeah.
do as part of a comedy musician's repertoire, you
Oh
know?
yeah, for sure.
Um,
They're definitely like
I
they're
mean,
like singles. Like they could be like
yeah,
singles for an album.
Trash Quest keeps using this emo, and I don't know what it's from,
I
but it's sending me, dude. It's so good. Um, but yeah, so let's ask the fun question. What was your favorite song in the special?
okay, so I actually
Or your
so
favorite moment in the special, rather?
okay, so I actually I'll put it up on camera. I'm pretty sure you have the stream up. So I bought the album on iTunes as soon as it came out.
Okay.
As soon as he said, "Hey, it's on Spotify and iTunes," I bought it immediately. Um Honestly, dude, like those two that I just said, which was That Funny Feeling and All Eyes on Me, are probably my favorites of the
Mhm.
special. But dude, like like his the opening song Content. I love that song because it's it's still funny. Like that song, the song he
Yeah.
opens with is still funny, but it's also like, hey, I'm in the middle of a fucking pandemic. Hi, like,
Right.
like
It's such a
there's
good cold open, you
oh
know?
yeah, for sure. And the fact that like the lights weren't too crazy, it was just that one on his face the whole time, and then he had the headlight with the um disco ball. Like I don't know, it's just
I looked into buying a headlamp and a disco ball after I watched that scene. Like, no joke.
oh yeah, you were
I
like
thought it was the
Amazon.
coolest thing ever. Yeah, I was like, how to make disco ball at home. Big Google. So that's from ACOP, and he's a conjugator of Black Flame. I guess I'm gonna go follow ACOP now since I'm meeting all these people for the first time. New friends.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. This is what we
Um,
love to see.
but yeah, what's interesting to me about the whole special is there's a lot of theming throughout the entire thing, you know.
Right.
Bo Burnham's always done callback in his routines. I mean, I've been watching him since Words, 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 and I
Yes.
watched Yo on Bo on YouTube way back
Right.
when. Where it's because he comes from such a musical theater background. And what I found interesting about, and I just had this conversation with Lil and Cat. God, and I'm bad at words all of a sudden.
It's okay.
He calls back like the "you're really joking at a times like this," and
Yes.
well, look who's inside again, right?
Yes.
There are certain songs that he never calls back on.
Right.
It's never a theme that's introduced again. And here was my thought. The themes that aren't ever introduced again musically is because I think it's almost like a reflection of how unprecedented what we've all experienced for the last 18 months has been. That
Right.
there was no amount of priming or introduction beforehand that could have prepared us for what we were about to collectively go through,
I agree.
you know,
I agree.
except for those feelings that have manifested in all of us, like depression and anxiety.
Mhm.
Those things he calls back on.
Right.
But the sense of isolation and stuff never really gets drawn to the forefront again.
Yeah.
It's a really clever way of kind of delivering a message. And maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I
Oh,
feel like that's
that doesn't
actually there.
exist. Oh, you cannot read into this too much. I will be studying this till the day I die. Like, I will find every hidden meaning. And actually, so something that I liked about the special is that it's not all songs. Like, it's mostly music.
What just
But one thing that is super important in the special is the non-musical parts. Um,
Mhm.
because he has moments where he's just talking to the camera, and really we should state first of all, if you haven't seen it, it's really a just steady decline mentally for him. And like it's tough to watch honestly at some points. You see that in the moments where he's not singing. I mean, you see it when he's singing obviously, but when he's just talking, by the way, we're at 390% Deans. um and like there's moments where he does like little stand-up bits where he does the can anyone just shut the fuck up, and like he does that bit, or
Mhm.
he does the one where he's talking about like pirates and the maps, and he's like,
Yeah,
why would you have a map that's burnt and has coffee stains? How about you laminate it? And like you can just
yeah,
see in his eyes how just out there he is, or how he was when he wrote that, because it's so weird. It's not like a normal Bo Burnham joke. It's just
absolutely.
like out there.
It feels like bad airplane humor almost.
Exactly, it does. It's because the jokes like really aren't good. They're just kind of there. And like I laughed at it because it was so ridiculous. But
Mhm.
um Winterkill, thank you
Winterkill,
for the
thank you for
sub.
the sub. And Tismo, you don't have to do anything, man. Just you being here means the world.
Hey, yeah,
Thank you for
Tismo,
listening to
don't you
us.
worry about it, boy. You just enjoy the entertainment of not even us, but just chat at this point. And hopefully you'll go watch Bo Burnham's Inside after this, because I feel like everyone needs to. Um, so yeah, and then the part that really like hurt me the most, just mentally and emotionally, was not that funny feeling or uh, All Eyes on Me. It was right before All Eyes on Me, when the first shot is, it's like in the camera's in his kitchen and it's looking out his whole living room, and he's
Mhm.
just sitting there and he's trying to say something like, so I've been working on this special for a year now. I think that's all he gets out
Right, and
before
he
he
keeps
just
trying to like start
he
over before he
starts
just
over
loses
every
it.
single time, and then he just loses it. I just got chills thinking about it. He just loses it and just destroys everything. He just throws his camera down, throws lights over, and it cuts. The next shot is him kind of side frame, because it's basically the camera that you're looking at, but he's inside of the, like, to the side of the frame,
Right.
and he has the microphone in his hand and his hand over his mouth, and you can see the tears that have gone down his cheeks and just how much pain is in his eyes, like literal just agony, his like he is in, and you can see it in his eyes. And that shit fucking hurt me like a lot,
Mhm.
because I love Bo and it sucked to see him like that.
Sure.
But I was like, by the time I finished that special, I was like grateful and sad that he had to go through that at the same time.
Sound of
Silver.
fire in your pants right now while we're talking about.
Oh my god.
Guys, we had a sick hype train. Thank you so
Oh
35
my goodness.
subs in
Holy
like
crap.
less than like 10 minutes. That was nuts.
That was, I mean,
Um
less than like 2 minutes.
yeah,
Wow.
that was wild. But yeah, Beaker, like you're 100% right. And then what was really messed up is I stumbled across a TikTok that was kind of just doing some discourse around the special.
Right.
And one of the things they pointed out was, listen, like it's meant to feel this way,
Right.
but you remember that this is the same guy who made this, and you have songs like "Art Is a Lie," right?
Yes, of
And then you're
course.
like, wow, how much of this is performative? And it really doesn't feel like it, you know. But once that thought presents itself that like any of this could just be for the spectacle of it,
Oh yeah, for
it
sure.
becomes like it just ties back to the main point of like why like there I remember the rant when he's laying down on his pillow and he's
Yes.
like, I don't know if making the neurochemical drama of our
Yeah.
people capital was the right move. And then
Yeah.
if you think about the fact that this could be performance art,
Right.
that's functionally what he's doing with his own mental health, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Which
he
that's a
has
weird, trippy fourth wall thought.
yeah. Deans gifted another sub, bro. Thank you. Holy crap. We appreciate y'all's support. This is amazing. The fact that this is our first
Yeah,
stream,
this is so
like
great.
with us two who are going to be the main cast of the show now. By the way, he's here now for good. Um,
I
this
feel
is
like
crazy.
if trauma doesn't keep me after this, like he's not watching the same stream.
Yeah,
You know?
he's
Just
on
throwing this
another
out
planet.
there to you, trauma.
He's on another planet. French with the 10 bits. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, so he has that whole
Thanks,
thing
French.
where he's like, I feel like letting our kids become. He does that whole speech that you were just talking about when he's laying on the pillow, right? And then
Right.
he's laying there and he's like, maybe that wasn't a good thing. And then he pauses and
Yeah.
he goes, I'm horny. And like it's just it breaks up the whole like you hear this whole like existential crisis of social commentary and what the world is, and then he just ends it with that and it cuts to another song. I think it cut to Problematic after that, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. So like it's just a total roller coaster. And yes, the performative side, you really have to think about it. Like, is it actually what? Because in That Funny Feeling, he says, Googling derealization, hating what you find.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Ooh,
after horny,
wait,
yes.
I gotta pause. I gotta stop. Did you Google derealization after that song?
Of
Because I
course I did.
fucking did.
Of course
And I
I
was like,
did.
wow, I hated this. He was
Yes,
right.
of course
He
I did.
was totally
Yes,
correct.
you're right, Lil Cat. Sex thing was after the horny part. You're correct. So yeah, I absolutely Googled it and I was like, oh shit, yeah, that sucked. And I I honestly think that because I saw someone talking about it. I think it was in like YouTube comments on a video, and they were like, his whole theme of this special is derealization and like
Mm.
not realizing that you might not really be here and then finding out that you are, like that kind of thing. And they pointed out that I don't know if you noticed it. I'm sure you did because you paid as much attention as I did.
Mhm.
When he's sitting there about to record a song and the plane flies over his house and he just kind of takes a deep breath, in the bottom
Left or in the bottom right corner
right
when
corner
the
the face cam pops up for a
yeah,
frame. And
right.
that like right there was supposed to be like, oh shit, like I'm not here. Because like it's
Mhm.
because really it's supposed to be like you're in this with him. And then
Right.
when that happens, it's something that makes your brain go, okay, wait, this is a screen. Like, this isn't real. Like, I'm
Mhm.
not here in this house with him suffering as much as he
Right.
is.
Right.
So,
It's like the callback to reality. It grounds you for a second.
exactly. That's exactly what it is. It grounds you. I couldn't figure out the words. Um, but yeah, so the whole thing is just crazy. I'm trying to convince my girlfriend to watch it. I don't know if she will, but I'm pretty sure she's
Has she ever
watching.
been a has she ever been a fan of like his comedy before or anything?
No, and I think that's the problem.
Okay.
She's not like a stand-up person. She doesn't really like stand-up. But I'm pretty sure she's watching right now because I think I can hear us in the living room. So Alexis, hello? Can we watch the special, please? You have the pressure of Anthony and now however many people are in the chat. So
Hey, Chad, if you think that Alexa should watch Inside, please hit us with an emote of your choice.
well,
I'll
wait.
like taster's choice, you
She
know?
says expose. That's her, by the way. Lexi War is my girlfriend.
Oh,
Yeah, that's her in chat.
okay. Hi, Lexi War. I'm VILARHINO. Nice to meet your text blue name. You're blue on my screen. I have a real quick question.
Hmm.
How seen did you feel? I mean, by the whole special, obviously, but when he did the bit about streaming, how seen did you feel?
Oh, dude,
How well researched was that?
it was
Like,
it was fucking perfect. Like the fact that
it
he's like
hurt.
the fact that he's sick, it's green screened, like he's in the corner, and he basically made a video game of himself. Um, and
Mhm.
then like he'll go, Anthony, thank you for the 4 months, appreciate it. Like it was just
Yeah.
like, dude, what? Like, I
He's
was like,
he's also what and this is stupid, but he's using different mics throughout the whole thing. Like sometimes
oh
he's
yeah,
using an SM58, sometimes he's using
yeah,
the that weird silver
the
condenser mic.
crazy
He's using an
podcast mic.
SM7B.
Yes, he
Yeah, he's
is.
using the crazy SM7B during that bit, and I was like,
The
"What the fuck, man?" It's the
the
only time he used it the entire special.
yeah, the most used stream mic on the planet he used for this bit. And I was just like, oh my god. And he's got the desk chair and everything. It was just amazing. It's so well thought out and so beautifully crafted. There are those moments where it's like funny, especially if you're a streamer or you watch Twitch and you
Mm,
see that, it definitely makes you laugh your ass off for a whole minute because it's a commentary on that whole thing, and honestly, probably just saying that that's the avenue that everyone took when this started was
yeah.
like, hey, I'm gonna go stream because
God,
I have nothing
how
else to
many
do.
people started
Oh my
streaming
god,
during this
dude,
thing? Yeah.
insane amount of people. Like
Yeah, which
it was either streaming or buying stocks. Like that was it.
yeah. Yeah,
Those were your two
GameStop to the
options.
moon, baby. That's it.
Those were your two options when the pandemic hit. It was either streaming or buying stocks. Like you take your pick. I wish I would have chose stocks, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, maybe I would have had a SM7B if I chosen stocks before
Yeah,
streaming,
exactly.
you know?
Syken, we
God,
appreciate you, man. Judge me to
I
watch
gotta sleep.
special.
My girlfriend is not judging me to go watch. Also, she says you have a superpower, Billy, the perfect pitch. All the band references are relatable. Great podcast. I'll be tuning in. Sagan, thank you
Hey,
so much, man. Super appreciate it.
thank you, man. We appreciate that.
Also, tell your girlfriend that the superpower does have its drawbacks, which I can get into on another episode because it's really funny when your kids figure out playing out of tune on purpose is like a effective method to disarm you.
Oh,
So
yikes. Lexus says she didn't
yeah,
start playing video games until the quarantine, which is actually pretty true. We like because I started streaming September. I picked the worst day. I started streaming on September 11th. So like
oh wow.
now I have to celebrate the worst day in America. And so yeah, and so like she started playing and like we started playing Realm and she's playing Valorant now.
Nice.
Um, yeah, so she's not lying. She was one of those people who just had to start playing video games because that's pretty much all it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's all you really could do at that point, you know? Um, unrelated, and God, I had a really good point about the special that I wanted to make that was related, and I lost it, and hopefully it comes back to me in a second. Now you have your best friends. Check out how that works.
Exactly.
Um, God, what was I gonna say? Oh, I'm losing all of my thoughts today. I'm not used to this. Oh
You got
man,
it.
the pressure's getting to me.
You'll get it back. You'll get it back.
Yeah. Um, God, and now I'm trying to think what I was gonna say about the special. There's a bit in the special that he does, and there's lots of bits, obviously.
Right.
Um, I was gonna mention problematic. That's what it was. I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about problematic.
Right.
So you've been following Bo for a while.
Yeah.
There were a fair amount of people, and this was unbeknownst to me, but I went and did some digging. There were a fair amount of people who were really unhappy with Bo. When in Make Happy, he dropped the F slur about himself with the "Hey Bo, guess what? What you're not gonna
Yeah.
say it on stream."
Right.
Yeah. Um, where he people gave him flack for it, but he doesn't really engage with the internet. That's always kind of been his thing, and so
Yeah.
it never really caught up with him in any meaningful capacity. And then Problematic comes out, right? Or he does Problematic for this special, and now there's discourse about people asking if he's asking to be held accountable for the thing he did in the other special, and or if he's just making fun of the whole idea of being held accountable when the joke was obviously supposed to be at his own expense.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to commentate on whether or not he should or shouldn't, but he's commentating on the fact that there's commentary about him in that space
Yeah. It's
with like
just
all the cancel culture
layers,
and stuff happening, you know?
layers upon layers
Yeah.
of like, is he
Eh,
talking about this or this or this? Yeah, no, for sure. One of the things that I actually kind of one a lyric that I laughed at and also found um, relevant, especially in today's culture, was the when I was 17 on Halloween, I dressed up as Aladdin. I did not darken my
Right.
skin, but still it feels weird in hindsight. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, it's so true because like
Mhm.
because now, I mean, I don't know about how who knows with Halloween. Honestly, I know there are limits
Yeah.
for sure. There are boundaries for sure. Like I can't wear a chief headdress. That's just not okay. But
Yeah.
like as dressing up as the Disney character, I don't see how that would be a problem. But
Mhm.
who knows at this point? Like it's just kind of up in the air, and he's kind of because he didn't have to say that. Like I mean, and it could not even be
No.
true. Like it
Right.
could have just been
It,
for the bit.
art is a lie, you know? So
Exactly.
it all
Yeah.
it goes back to
Art is a
that.
lie. Exactly. It's crazy. one that a song that I look at these bunch of beautiful human beings. Yes, sir. Yes,
Dude,
sir.
I don't see you on this stream. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, never mind. We're pretty beautiful. I
Yeah,
lied.
I concur. So you mentioned that you had Bezos One as your ringtone.
Yes, it's not as my ringtone as my alarm
Your
for when I
alarm.
wake up.
Yeah,
Bezos, yeah, Bezos one is my currently my alarm.
dude, I cannot stop listening to that song. It's so good.
Unironically, right? It's so
Unironically,
good.
it's so good. Like it's total because he has two Bezos songs. One of them is like
Yeah,
actual lyrics, about Jeffrey Bezos and what he has the power of to actually do in a minute and a half song. The other one is just Jeffrey Bezos. It's just that. And
right.
like, but I think around the time probably around the time he wrote that, Jeffrey Bezos had left Amazon, and like that's what was happening when he wrote that. I'm assuming because he has
Mhm.
two songs about him, so it only makes sense.
Right. Oh
Um,
yeah, it's probably he left Amazon and then he came back or whatever it was that he did, or he moved
yeah,
on.
I
I
I
don't
don't know.
follow Jeffrey Bezos well enough to know what he's doing, but
I could care less
there
about
were some
Jeffrey Bezos'
significant
life.
Bezos events during the quarantine. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, I could care less about Jeffrey
maybe it was like
Bezos'
the
life. He's
divorce.
and that's what I was thinking too. I was like, that's really funny if that's the case. Dude, Bill looks just like Bobby Poff. Who the hell's Bobby Poff, Shade?
I don't know who Bobby Pop is.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm
My
curious
face.
now.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
yeah. Let's do some googling.
I can't do it on the computer, but I'll do
Are
it on
you
my phone.
phoning it?
I
Okay,
am. Oh no.
Bobby.
Oh
Uh oh.
no. Oh.
That that's not a good. That's not. I don't like that response.
Oh, I know who
Oh, I
this
know who
is.
this guy
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. He's on is he on
Yeah, he
TikTok a
plays
lot?
Warzone and stuff. Yes, he's the Warzone streamer times
Oh yeah,
envy.
okay, yes, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna put it up to
Dude,
my camera.
it's the stash.
This guy. Oh,
It's
you
just the
can't the
stash.
fucking saturation. You can't see him. Yes, I love his TikToks because it's just him like this close to the camera. He's just like his face the whole time is just so ridiculous. And
Excellent.
his reactions are just so amazing.
Well, Shade, the stash does come and go, but I'll keep it around for a while.
I'm working
I
on
know before the
mine.
special, everyone called him his name Jeff Bezos, and now you guys are calling him Jeffrey. Dude, Jeffrey is the man, except not really, but
Except he has way too much money and does nothing with it that needs to be done with it. That's just my
listen, but
thought.
he's not like one of those amateurs like Zuckerberg or Gates or Buffett. Those guys can
Yeah,
fucking suck it,
they can
okay?
suck it, man. Fuck their wives, drink their blood.
Come on, Jeff, get him.
And then the
God,
nastiest synth line ever.
oh, it's so good. My favorite part, yeah, call it's like when a parent calls a kid by their full name.
Yeah, no, for
It's
sure.
exactly that. It's definitely it's derivative as fuck. It's awesome. My favorite part about the synth line, since you called it out specifically, Beaker, is it's not in key actually.
I believe
He's
you.
most of it is, yeah, most
Oh god.
fuck.
Oh
I
god, here
get
we
scared.
go. Here we go.
I'm just yeah, it's in E minor, right? And the he goes the da 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 or whatever, and the ascending part is
Da,
F
da,
sharp G
da.
A B flat,
Yeah,
and he
it's
hits a
off.
tritone. So, yeah, it's off. Why did I just do that? I could have just talked about it and instead I grabbed the keyboard. What the fuck?
Said you had to big dick us and fucking pull out the keyboard.
Yeah, sorry.
No, but yeah, if
I guess I'll
honestly,
go away.
if someone who's a musician and like understands notes, visual learners, who understands notes, because you can
Okay,
tell
fair
that
enough.
there's a note that's off somewhere. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I God, that song is just so good, and I will never stop listening to it. But we appreciate y'all for being here. This was an insane start to this with the hype train and um, all that stuff. It's crazy.
Dude,
We appreciate the love.
this was a great time. Yeah, thank you so much. I couldn't have asked for a more warm welcome.
Oh yeah.
Um, thanks for thanks for just chatting, man. Like I'm excited to just keep doing this going forward. You
Oh
know,
dude,
it's gonna be a
yes.
lot of fun.
I am very excited to have some more conversations. All right, let me